My name's Marcia Hutchinson. 20 years ago, I wrote a book about the Windrush Generation and the contribution that they have made to British society. I wanted children to know about the families who helped build the NHS, transport, hospitals, everything. I thought in the intervening years things would have got better. I was so wrong. Things have got so much worse.
The link between this country and the Caribbean did not begin in 1948 with the Windrush. All of us here of Caribbean descent are in this country and have this relationship in this country because our descendants were removed from Africa, taken across the Atlantic and put in the Caribbean.
I was born in Jamaica. I came to England when I was 6 in 1967, and I went to Stretford Road Primary School in Old Trafford, Manchester. In 1973, my father decided to go back to Jamaica. He had worked as a civil engineer here in the UK, so he'd literally been building the country. In about 1976, my older sister was getting married, so I came back for the wedding. I had travelled on my mother's passport to come to the UK, and this time when I was coming back to the UK I had to get a Jamaican passport. After a long time of asking my mum, she allowed me to return in '77, and I decided to go to college. But at that time you needed a visa, and after I went to college I was told by the Home Office that I had to leave the country and that I was going to be deported. My brother was saying, how can it be that you're Jamaican and I'm British? We're one family, we grew up together, but the rules had changed, and the rules had changed so that if you were out of the country longer than 2 years, then you'd lost your right to return to the country. Mrs. Thatcher had come to power in the late 70s, saying that Britain was being swamped by immigrants, and they talk about a hostile environment today, but that created a hostile environment.
What was the impact of only having indefinite leave to remain and not citizenship?
You've got this constant consciousness in your mind that you are different from everybody else that you are friends with, because you know they all are British citizens, but you're not.
And I came here at 14, and 3 days later, I was 15, so I went straight to work, and I've been working ever since. Going to work, it was very, very hard. I started off as a junior salesman, and then I met my wife in 1970, after 8 years in this country, and we had 3 kids. I've never looked back since then. And I feel this country was my country.
Have you had any problems leaving the country since you arrived?
When my dad died in 2004, I went to apply for a passport and was told that I'm not eligible for a passport. So I went to the travel service to book a flight to go down on my Jamaican passport, and the manager of the travel service took me into his office, explained to me and said that I'm going to have a problem coming back with the documents I've got. And if I were you, I would make that move. So I cancelled all that, sad, not going and putting my father to rest. And I applied, and they told me I've got to pay £1,000 to £1,200 for a passport. That put me off because I didn't have the money and to do that. Now I'm a pensioner. Now is the time I would like to take my wife somewhere abroad, back to Jamaica, and visit my dad's grave. But I can't do that until I get my rights, my citizenship, and my passport. And that's what I need.
Have I ever applied for a British passport? Yes, I have. And I received my first passport in 1996. I came to this country on a British passport because at the time Grenada was still under British rule. And when I applied for my British passport in 1996, I was asked for my original passport, which I gave them, along with my British citizenship, which I had got 12 years earlier. And I also gave them my original birth certificate. Then they gave me a passport. When I went to Liverpool to renew my British passport, I was told I had used the passport fraudulently. Well, I brought my British citizenship, my original passport I came to the country with. That's the black one. And my original birth certificate that was issued to me in Grenada. They told me they'll keep these and they will be returned. So I says, well, can I have another passport? They told me no. Until we resolve this situation, well, you'll be hearing from us. And then when I tried applying again a couple of years ago to go to South Africa, they told me that they have no record of any of my documents.
How do you feel about the Home Office losing all your documents?
Well, I just think it's just incompetence and just it's just shambles. I really can't believe it. I mean, the fact of the matter is that that should have been, I don't know why they took it in the first place. They should have, and if they did take it, they should have returned it within a few days. Why they kept it for so long to the point now where they've lost it is beyond me.
I'm so grateful to Ronald and Anthony and Everald for telling their stories. So often as a black community, we hide, we keep our heads down. But if anything, this Windrush scandal has shown that when we stand together, we can make a difference. It took black politicians like Diane Abbott and David Lammy to bring this to the fore. It took a community to really stand together. We can't let this die down. We have to keep moving. I'm a member of the Labour Party, and I think that's the way forward for the black community. There is a break with the past. The Labour Party of the past that produced mugs talking about controls on immigration, that has to change. But we can't change it from the outside. We need to join this party and we need to take power within it, because we can make a difference. In a few short weeks, the heads of government of 12 Caribbean countries have almost brought the British government to its knees. It can be done. We are much more powerful than we think if we stand together.
If I got my British passport today, it would help me to feel a lot more integrated in the country, and it would make me feel that I would want to work harder to build a better community, a better country.
If I get my British passport and today, the first thing I would do is try and arrange a trip and go and visit my dad's grave.
If I got my British passport today, I would do a lot of traveling. I'd feel more secure. I feel the potential to do a lot more with myself and with the country and the community and everything.